So let me ask you this. So
Yeah.
how does a country that have not, like a president that has let's say of Jewish origin vote to elect a street after a Nazi this week? How does that happen? How do they do it also while the Russian propaganda machine is trying to make all of, paint all of the Ukrainian government as Nazis, which is obviously ridiculous. But with that propaganda, why do they still go forward with this? Is there any truth to what Russia's saying? Like 10%, 5%, 2%? Obviously, the government itself is very far from it. But it's kind of weird. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, it's all Russian propaganda. And then I see they voted to name a street after it. What exactly goes on in the Ukrainian culture? You gave us a very good understanding of how the Poles see themselves, right? They see themselves as victims. We didn't set up those concentration camps. You're coming here. And then you take this resentment out on us in a sense, and you have walk away with a negative opinion of the Poles. If anything, more positive experiences, we're trying to keep the memory of the Holocaust going. That was a very good explanation of how the Poles see themselves, right, in relation to Nazism and Jews in the memory of the Holocaust. But I don't understand. I'm just so confused. And I know there's so much propaganda from everywhere regarding the Ukrainians. How do they see themselves? And how are they carrying forward? Are they going pro-Nazi as a way to be like anti-Red Army? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, I really don't get it. Because I'm hearing propaganda, and then they're like, well, this is true. But this matches with propaganda, but it counters this propaganda. And, there's the fog of war. So I don't even know what's true or not. So I wanted to hear, maybe you can help me get a better understanding, help me become less ignorant, so I can, better navigate all the bullshit out there.
Look, such a problem or similar problem actually exists almost in every Eastern European country. I don't remember the name of the one street was named after him, but he's considered, rightly or wrongly, a hero that fought also against the Soviets, against the communists, against the Russians, and also killed Jews. On the side, also killed on the sidelines.
No. Wait. One doesn't kill Jews on the side. I'm a marketer and I do podcasts on the side. One doesn't go out of their way to murder Jews and be a Nazi. Not just I don't mean even the regular, let's say, Poles we discussed earlier that might have turned in a Jew and went and killed him on the street or a pogrom. We're talking about wearing a Nazi uniform, SS. We're not talking about just a Jew hater, right? We're talking about an actual Nazi collaborator, one that was actively involved. It wasn't on the side. And even on the side, I'm not going to downplay and justify it. I think this is one of the problems, I think when we let these kind of things slide, we can say that we totally support Ukraine in the war against Russia and against the invasion. But we can also say this is absolutely unacceptable. And should an ambassador of the Ukraine make some kind of statement or do something, or at least pull back your ambassador? Does the Israeli government, is there any communication with them about this? Hey guys, this is not cool, because the enemy is my friend. It's not when you're elevating, when you're immortalizing Nazis on your streets. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to accept killing Jews on the side as a Nazi.
Well, they killed mainly Russians. This is their pride, and this is their hilarious position, that they were freedom fighters who tried to free Ukraine from the Russian occupation or something like that. By the way,
but he was a Nazi.
They were anti-Semites, and partly also sometimes they considered the Jews as being communists.
No, I understand.
Wrongly, of course.
Right, the Ukrainians called it.
And I don't know who named the street. I'm not sure that it's the president who named the street. Maybe
no. It was voted for the board. It was voted.
It happened in the Baltic states, in Lithuania, in Latvia, in Estonia. It happened in Romania. It happened in Hungary. Our good friend Hungary has also been trying in recent years to to present those fascist
hold on
collaborators with the Nazis as freedom fighters who try to free Hungary from Russia.
Hold on a sec. I don't understand. So you're supportive of them of them naming a street after a Nazi
No, of course
collaborator?
not. Of course not.
Oh, I'm because all I hear
Of
is just
course
I'm hearing
not. And we always tell them that this is cannot be used as an excuse. We always
that's my question. Okay, so okay, thank you. So that's what I want to get to. Would you, from your experience, has the Israeli government reached out to the government of Ukraine or Kyiv to say no? Like, can you please not do this?
Well, I don't know. I'm not in the government.
I know you don't know. I'm asking from your experience.
In the past. Yes,
right.
This is what we always on each and every case like that in every country.
So you're saying there was very likely, based on your experience, a back channel of the Israeli government telling them
and
do
we
not do
never, even if we could understand the reason why it was done, we never accepted it. Of course, in some cases we were successful in removing those names. In some other places, it didn't work for one reason or another, or the local community was so in favor that the central government was not able to convince them until the new local administration changed, and then there was an opportunity to do it. So, or for instance, there were a couple. I remember that in the Baltics there is a day in March where the veterans are marching. Now, part of those war veterans there, well, they are not. Most of them are not alive anymore. So the problem is getting smaller every year. But 20 years ago, the war veterans were marching to commemorate their fight for freedom of their countries. But many of them were former not SS, but groups and divisions who were supporting the Germans. So we always complained. We always demanded the governments to stop those marches. Sometimes they did stop it. Sometimes they said, well, what can we do? It is not going to be very popular step. These are old people and their families, and they consider themselves to be a hero. They fought for our country. Yes, they killed also Jews, but they supported the Germans. But you have to understand, and somehow, well, as I said, in a natural course of things, there are fewer and fewer of them these days. So I don't even know if those marches are still taking place.
Right.
It's gone.
Right.